Drone exploits. Seeing what we can't see.
Kirkstall Abbey is a ruined Cistercian monastery in Kirkstall, northwest of Leeds city centre in West Yorkshire, England. It is set in a public park on the north bank of the River Aire. It was founded circa 1152. It was disestablished during the dissolution of the monasteries under Henry VIII. Henry de Lacy, Lord of the Manor of Pontefract, second Lord of Bowland, promised to dedicate an abbey to the Virgin Mary should he survive a serious illness. He recovered and agreed to give the abbot of Fountains Abbeyland at Barnoldswick in the West Riding of Yorkshire on which to found a daughter abbey. Abbot Alexander with 12 Cistercian monks from Fountains went to Barnoldswick, and after demolishing the existing church attempted to build the abbey on Henry de Lacy's land. They stayed for 6 years but found the place inhospitable. Abbot Alexander set about finding a more suitable place for the abbey, and came across a site in the heavily wooded Aire Valley occupied by hermits. Alexander sought help from de Lacy, who was sympathetic and helped acquire the land from William de Poitou. The monks moved from Barnoldswick to Kirkstall, displacing the hermits, some of whom joined the abbey, the rest being paid to move. The buildings were mostly completed between 1152, when the monks arrived in Kirkstall, and the end of Alexander's abbacy in 1182. Millstone grit for building came from Bramley Fall on the opposite side of the river. The English Cistercian houses, of which there are remains at Fountains, Revos, Kirkstall, Tintern and Netley, were mainly arranged after the same plan, with slight local variations. The church is of the Cistercian type, with a short chancel, and transepts with 3 eastward chapels to each, divided by solid walls. The building is plain, the windows are unornamented, and the nave has no triforium. The windows and doorways have round heads, whereas the vaulting arches are pointed and the mouldings and capitals also show early Gothic features. During the 15th century, the great east window was replaced with a smaller one. The tower over the crossing was made higher in the 16th century, just before dissolution. The cloister to the south occupies the whole length of the nave. On the east side stands the 2-aisled chapter house, between which and the south transept is a small sacristy, and on the other side 2 small apartments, one of which was probably the parlour. Beyond this is the kale factory or day room of the monks. Above this whole range of building runs the monks' dormitory, opening by stairs into the south transept of the church. On the south side of the cloister there are the remains of the old refectory, running, as in Benedictine houses, from east to west, and the new refectory, which, with the increasing occupancy of the house, superseded it, reoriented, as is usual in Cistercian houses, from north to south. Adjacent to this apartment are the remains of the kitchen, pantry and buttery. The arches of the lavatory are to be seen near the refectory entrance. The western side of the cloister is occupied by vaulted cellars, supporting on the upper story the dormitory of the lay brothers. On the 22nd of November, 1539 the abbey was surrendered to Henry VIII's commissioners in the dissolution of the monasteries. It was awarded to Thomas Cranmer in 1542, but reverted to the crown when Cranmer was executed in 1556. Sir Robert Savile purchased the estate in 1584, and it remained in his family's hands for almost 100 years. In 1671 it passed into the hands of the Brudenell family, the Earls of Cardigan. Much of the stone was removed for reuse in other buildings in the area, including the steps leading to the riverbank by Leeds Bridge, in the town centre. During the 18th century the picturesque ruins attracted artists of the Romantic movement, and were painted by artists including J.M.W. Turner, John Sell Copman and Thomas Girtin. In 1889 the abbey was sold to Colonel John North, who presented it to Leeds City Council. The council undertook a major restoration project and the abbey was opened to the public in 1895. The African-American novelist William Wells Brown visited Kirkstall Abbey in 1851, writing about his experience. Using poetry and poetic language, he described the pensive beauties of the desolate ruins in their pastoral luxuriance, showing his appreciation of British literature as well as an interest in nature and local history. Little excavation took place before 1890, after which William St. John Hope led an investigation of the abbey walls, and some trees were removed. Extensive excavations were carried out during the 1950s by Leeds City Museum's staff, now Leeds Museums and Galleries, under the direction of W.V. Wade of Leeds University. The Abbey is a Grade 1 listed building and scheduled ancient monument. After a £5.5 million renovation programme, there is a new visitor centre with interactive exhibits, which illustrates the history of the Abbey and the lives of the monks. The Leeds Shakespeare Festival, performed by the British Shakespeare Company, took place annually in the cloisters from 1995 until 2009. The Abbey grounds are a public park, and are used for occasional events such as the annual Kirkstall Festival and the Kirkstall Fantasia open-air concerts.